It was a Wednesday, early evening, the kind of Atlanta dusk where the air feels heavy but not quite hot, and the shadows start to grow long against the pavement. I had just wrapped up a brutal 9-hour day at the DOJ field office back-to-back case reviews, a public complaints hearing that went sideways, and a long sit-down with a congressional liaison who still couldn't tell the difference between civil rights enforcement and public relations. So, I wasn't exactly in the mood to go straight home. I needed to breathe a little. I took the long route through Westview, rolled down the windows, and let some Miles Davis drift out of the speakers. My name's Elijah Brooks. I don't usually introduce myself that way. Most days I'm just Eli, the guy who keeps his badge tucked away and his tie a little too tight. But there are times, and I mean rare ones, when that badge means more than just paperwork. And this was one of those times. I was driving my old but well-kept Lexus G-Stark Blue, spotless, with leather seats that still smelled like dignity. I wasn't speeding, wasn't weaving, wasn't even chewing gum. Just cruising. So when I saw those flashing lights in my mirror, part of me already knew. It's a feeling, a certain dread mixed with a certain resolve. You know the game. The sirens, the spotlight, the thud of a heavy boot hitting the pavement. But what still stuns me, even after all these years in oversight, is how quickly an ordinary drive can become a stage for power and prejudice. He pulled me over near a corner gas station that had seen better days. Broken neon, flickering sign. I flicked on my hazard lights, rolled down both front windows, hands at 10 and 2. No sudden movements, no attitude. Just air-thin calm. Out steps a white cop. Buzz cut. Mid-30s. Sturdy like a fire hydrant, and just as inflexible. Nameplate read Kyle Morton. Didn't say hello. Didn't say evening. Just license and registration. His tone was clipped, bordering on hostile. Like I was already guilty and hadn't caught up to it yet. I replied in my usual voice, low, even, measured. I'm reaching for the glove box now. Registration's in there. He didn't respond. Just watched me like I was a test he expected me to fail. I handed it over. Where you headed? Home, I said. From work. What do you do? He asked. I was not leaving my license. I work in public oversight. That didn't satisfy him. You some kind of lawyer? Not exactly. He gave me a once-over-me tailored shirt, the car interior, the wristwatch. Then, without warning, he stepped back and swung the flat of his hand against my side mirror. Hard. It cracked. Then he kicked it. The mirror snapped loose and dangled like a broken arm. I blinked. Took a breath. That really necessary? I asked. You got an attitude? He snapped. Car fits the profile. Could be stolen. Could be anything. Profile. That word again. I stayed still. This wasn't my first time. But it never got easier. Step out of the vehicle. I did. Calmly. Slowly. He walked behind me, pacing, circling like a dog unsure where to bite. Pop the trunk, he ordered. Open the back. Step away. I asked, is there probable cause for a search? His eyes narrowed. I said move. Next thing I knew, I was being shoved hard onto the hood. My cheek hit metal. His hand pushed into my spine. The engine was still running, a faint hum under my ribs. He began patting me down. Aggressively. You seem awful calm, he muttered. Most people would be nervous. Calm isn't the problem. Misconduct is. He froze for half a second, then resumed the pat down with more force. You think you're above this? No, I said. I think I know the law better than you do. He leaned in, close enough for me to smell his breath gum and frustration. You people always think you're so slick. There it was. I turned my head slightly. You mean black? Just say it. Don't hide behind euphemisms. He didn't like that. His jaw clenched. His hand shifted toward his belt resting near his holster. That moment, it's one I'll never forget. Because that's when I saw it, not confidence, not authority, but fear. The kind that comes when you realize the script isn't going the way you thought. He asked again, what do you do? I reached slowly, deliberately, into my inner jacket pocket. He stiffened, hand twitching. I'm retrieving my ID, I said aloud. No sudden moves. I pulled out a wallet, flipped it open, held it chest high. Department of Justice. Civil Rights Division. Oversight Director. He blinked. Mouth opened. Nothing came out. Yes, I said. That's me. He stepped back like I had slapped him. I don't carry a weapon, I said. I carry responsibility. He mumbled something about not knowing. And that's the issue, I told him. You didn't know? And you acted anyway. Back at the office, I requested a complete file pull on Kyle Morton. What I found made my stomach tighten. Dozens of complaints. A pattern of stops young black men, Latino women, undocumented immigrants. Always thrown out. Always quietly settled or ignored. I knew what I had to do. I called Chief Hartman. I want an audit. Full scale. You're going to make enemies, he warned. I already did, I said. Now I'm making change. Over the next 3 weeks, I worked with internal investigators, field liaisons, and community boards. I attended every forum in person, listened, took notes. And what I heard, it wasn't just about Kyle. It was about the culture that trained Kyle, promoted Kyle, protected Kyle. Then came the public hearing. The auditorium was packed: press, activists, grandmothers, college kids. I stepped to the mic. I was pulled over for nothing, like so many others. But unlike many others, I had a badge. And that should never be the difference between safe and sorry. I held up the audit report, 248 pages. Systemic failures, misconduct patterns, retaliation complaints. Untouched until now. Starting next quarter, I announced, every officer in this state will undergo civil rights retraining. Every complaint will be reviewed by a third-party board. And every badge will be accountable not just to the law, but to the people. The room was quiet. Not out of doubt. Out of weight. Then the applause started. Slowly. Then all at once. As I walked off stage, I passed Kyle Morton in the back hallway. Plain clothes. Pale. Avoiding eye contact. He said nothing. I didn't need him to. Because this isn't about one cop. It's about the system that gave him a mirror to shatter and never once asked who had to pick up the pieces. Tell me, have you seen it happen? Lived it? Are we ready to demand better? Or are we still waiting for someone to have the right badge before we believe them? Drop a comment. Share your story. Because the only way we stop this cycle is together. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story on Store of Good Stories. If this story touched your heart or made you think, don't forget to hit like and share the video to spread this positive message to more people. And if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the meaningful stories we share every week. Your support is the biggest motivation for Store of Good Stories to keep bringing heartfelt and valuable stories to you. See you in the next video.